Let me begin with a poem by Rudyard Kipling, words I've often turned to in times of confusion. I keep 6 honest serving men. They taught me all I knew. Their names are what, why, when, how, where, and who. These are not just poetic words. They are tools, powerful, timeless tools for solving the everyday worries that steal our sleep, cloud our judgment, and drain the joy from life. Today, I want to share with you the method I've taught to thousands, the method I've used myself for analyzing and solving worry problems. It's simple, it's practical, and it works. Let's begin with a question. Can one single formula solve all worry problems? The answer is no. Life is too complex for that. But there is a method of thinking, of facing challenges that can help us approach worry from a place of strength and clarity. It's a 3-step formula, taught not just by me, but by thinkers like Aristotle, and lived out by leaders and learners across the world. 1. Get the facts. 2. Analyze the facts. 3. Decide and act. Simple, right? But don't let that fool you. The power lies in the discipline of applying it. Let's talk about the first rule. Get the facts. Why is this so important? Because without facts, you and I are simply guessing. And guessing in the dark leads to confusion. And confusion is the root of worry. Don't take my word for it. That was the belief of Dean Herbert E. Hawkes of Columbia University. He told me personally, half the worry in the world is caused by people trying to make decisions before they have sufficient knowledge. He had a rule: if a problem was coming next Tuesday, he refused to make a decision before Tuesday. Until then, he focused only on gathering facts. No worry, no panic, just clear, objective research. And often by the time Tuesday arrived, the problem had already unraveled itself, just by shining the light of knowledge on it. Let me say it again. If a man will devote his time to securing facts in an impartial, objective way, his worries will usually evaporate in the light of knowledge. But here's the catch. Most of us don't really want all the facts. We only want the ones that support what we already believe. As Thomas Edison once said, there is no expedient to which a man will not resort to avoid the labor of thinking. Think about that. We avoid facts that challenge our beliefs. We protect our egos. And that's the fastest way to stay stuck. Or as Andre Maurois put it, everything that is in agreement with our personal desires seems true. Everything that is not puts us into a rage. Sound familiar? That's why we must learn to think like scientists, not like soldiers. We must seek the truth, not just proof of what we want to believe. Now, how do we stay objective when we're overwhelmed? Let me give you 2 tricks I've used personally. 1, pretend you're gathering facts for a friend, not for yourself. You'll find it easier to be fair and impartial when your emotions aren't in the way. 2, play the devil's advocate. Pretend you're a lawyer arguing against your own case. Dig up every fact that challenges your wishes. Then write down both sides of the issue. Often the truth lies somewhere in between. Remember, neither you nor I, nor even Einstein, can solve a problem intelligently without getting all the facts. Thomas Edison knew this. When he died, he had over 2,500 notebooks filled with facts. So rule number 1, get the facts, all of them, impartially. Let me show you how this works in real life. I want to tell you a story, a true story, of a man named Galen Litchfield, an American businessman working in Shanghai during World War II. In 1942, the Japanese invaded. Galen was forced to cooperate with the Japanese military to liquidate the assets of his company. Now, Galen withheld a block of securities worth $750,000 belonging to their Hong Kong branch. But the Japanese soon discovered what he'd done. The admiral overseeing the liquidation flew into a rage. He called Galen a thief and a traitor. Galen knew what that meant. He would be thrown into the bridge house, a torture prison where men died within days. What did Galen do? He didn't panic. He turned to a technique he had used for years. He went to his typewriter and wrote down 2 questions and the answers. Number 1, What am I worrying about? I'm afraid I will be thrown into the bridge house tomorrow morning. Simple, clear, director. Number 2, what can I do about it? Now he started listing the real options he had, not fantasies, not panic, just facts and likely consequences. 1, try to explain to the admiral, but the admiral didn't speak English. Worse, using an interpreter might provoke him again. That could mean death. 2, try to escape. Impossible. He was being tracked every moment. Attempting to flee would mean capture, or worse. 3, hide and avoid the office. That might only raise suspicion and lead to arrest without a word of defense. 4, go to the office as usual on Monday morning. Maybe the admiral would be too busy. Maybe his anger had cooled. Even if not, at least Galen would have a chance to explain. And so, after reviewing each path honestly, he made a decision. Go to the office as usual. Face the day with calm. And the moment he made that decision, his fear began to fade. Monday morning came. Galen entered the office. The Japanese admiral was there. He glared, but said nothing. 6 weeks later, the admiral returned to Tokyo. And just like that, Galen's life was spared. But let me tell you something, my friend. It wasn't luck that saved him. It was clarity. It was the method he used. A method we can all use, whether we're running an office, a household, or just trying to get through a tough week. Here's how Galen described it. I probably saved my life by sitting down that Sunday afternoon and writing out all the various steps I could take, and then writing down the probable consequences of each step. If he hadn't done that, if he had let panic steer the wheel, he might have made a rash decision or frozen with fear. Instead, he found calm through clarity. And here's the key takeaway from Galen's story, one of the most powerful truths I've ever discovered about worry. 50% of my worries vanish. It's once I arrive at a clear, definite decision. And another 40% vanish once I begin to act on that decision. 90% of his worries gone, not through wishful thinking, but through action. Here's a simple 4-step process. Write this down. It's 1, write down precisely what you're worrying about. 2, write down what you can do about it. 3, decide what to do. A 4th, start immediately to carry out that decision. Simple, yes, but incredibly powerful. Today, Galen Litchfield is one of the most respected American business leaders in Asia. He credits much of his success to this very method. Now I must tell you, step 3 is crucial. Decide, and then act. Because unless you act, unless you carry out your plan, all the facts, all the writing, all the thinking is worthless. It's like preparing the soil, but never planting the seed. Psychologist William James once said, when once a decision is reached and execution is the order of the day, dismiss absolutely all responsibility and care about the outcome. He didn't mean stop caring. He meant stop worrying. Once you've made your decision, move forward. Don't second guess, don't hesitate, don't look back. I once asked Wade Phillips, a prominent oil man from Oklahoma, how he avoided anxiety in business. He told me, there comes a time when any more thinking is harmful. We must decide and act and never look back. And that is exactly what I'm asking you to do right now. Let's try Galen's method together. Here are 4 questions. Please write your answers. 1, what am I worrying about? Take a moment, be honest, be specific. 2, what can I do about it? List all your options, even the ones you don't like. 3, what am I going to do about it? Choose, decide, declare it clearly. 4, when am I going to start doing it? Set the clock, mark the calendar, take the first step. My friend, worry is a poison, but clarity is the antidote. And action, that's the cure. So whenever worry clouds your mind, don't pace the floor. Don't turn to distractions. Turn to paper. Turn to truth. Write, think, decide, act. It may just change your life, just like it did for Galen Litchfield. And so, remember this. Worry cannot survive in the presence of clear thinking and decisive action. It feeds on confusion. It thrives in indecision. But it dies when you face it head on, with facts in one hand and purpose in the other. You don't need to be a genius. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need a pen, a plan, and the courage to take the first step. So the next time worry knocks at your door, don't run, don't hide. Sit down, write it out, and meet it with clarity, like Galen Litchfield did. You have more power than you think, and that power begins when you decide to use it